viewers, thank you so much for joining us on TVOnenews International. I'm Katarina Amelia. Stay with us as we bring you the latest headlines from around the world. Because while trends come and go on a matter of hours, the news never takes a day off. This is TVOnenews International. President Donald Trump said on Thursday, June 4th, that he is directing hundreds of millions of dollars to support U.S. coal-fired power plants and expand coal export to Asia. Much of the funding will come from Cold War-era emergency powers. And later, we'll look at the relation between Xi Jinping and Kim Jong-un. Chinese President Xi Jinping is set to visit North Korea for the first time in nearly 7 years, according to state media reports. So stay with us, and for the full story, there's a lot to unpack and we promise it's more interesting than your unread group chat messages. So viewers, this is TVOnenews International. President Donald Trump said on Thursday, June 4th, that he is directing hundreds of millions of dollars towards supporting U.S. coal-fired power plants and expanding coal exports to Asia. With much of the funding drawn from Cold War-era emergency powers. Trump invoked the Defense Production Act, a 1950 law that gives presidents broad authority over industries considered vital to national security. Under the plan, $425 million will go toward upgrading 13 coal power plants. While another $75 million will support a proposed West Gateway coal export terminal in Oakland, California. The Energy Department also said it is finalizing up to $350 million in previously announced funds to develop for coal-related projects. Including new power facilities in Alaska and West Virginia. Speaking at the White House, Trump, joined by Interior Secretary Doug Burgum, Energy Secretary Chris Wright, and Republican Governors Mark Gordon of Wyoming and Patrick Morrisey of West Virginia, said clean, beautiful coal will help lower living costs for Americans. The initiative drew sharp criticism from environmental groups who argue that coal emissions contribute to serious health problems, including heart and lung disease, and ultimately increase medical costs. Sierra Club Climate Policy Director Patrick Trapp called the plan a taxpayer-funded effort to prop up what he described as a declining and costly industry. Adding that the organization plans to challenge the policy in court. He warned the policy would raise costs for consumers while worsening air and water pollution in surrounding communities. The Trump administration has framed the move as part of a broader national security strategy aimed at powering artificial intelligence data centers and reducing reliance on foreign energy sources. However, National Mining Association CEO Rich Nolan welcomed the decision, calling it a strong boost for the coal industry and saying it will help stabilize energy supply amid rising electricity demand. Coal once provided more than half of U.S. electricity in 1990, but now accounts for less than one-fifth. As utilities have increasingly shifted toward cheaper natural gas and renewable energy sources. Satellite images released by Planet Labs BBC revealed what analysts believe is the location of a nuclear facility recently unveiled by North Korea on Thursday, June 4th. The development comes after North Korean leader Kim Jong-un visited the newly operational nuclear material production facility on Wednesday, June 3rd, where he called for an exponential increase in the country's nuclear weapons program, according to state news agency KCNA. Satellite imagery shows construction activity around the site, including newly paved surrounding areas that began appearing in May 2025. Analysts who reviewed the images told Reuters that the location is most likely part of North Korea's Yongbyon nuclear complex and is believed to be the same facility visited by Kim during his recent tour. A South Korean Joint Chiefs of Staff official say the site appears to be a uranium enrichment facility, a key component in North Korea's nuclear program. The location matches previous assessment by Jeffrey Lewis, a global security expert at Middlebury College, who identified the suspected Yongbyon facility in satellite images published last year. The site features a large central building measuring approximately 95 meters long and 24 meters wide, surrounded by offices and superstructures. More recent satellite images from May showed additional upgrades around the facility, including newly paved infrastructure surrounding the main complex. Analysts say Kim's visit was likely intended to strengthen North Korea's position ahead of any future diplomatic talks, while also signaling the country's commitment to expanding its nuclear capabilities. After all, in international politics, sometimes the message is delivered not through words, but through construction projects visible from space. Chinese President Xi Jinping is set to visit North Korea, a longtime ally of Beijing, marking his first trip to the country in nearly 7 years, according to state media reports. Xi will travel to North Korea from June 8 to 9 at the invitation of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. His last visit to Pyongyang took place in 2019. The trip comes just weeks after Xi hosted US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin in Beijing, highlighting China's central role in regional diplomacy involving countries that significantly influence North Korea's foreign policy. China remains North Korea's most important economic and political partner, providing crucial support as Pyongyang continues to face international sanctions linked to its nuclear weapons program and alleged human rights abuses. North Korea has long viewed the United States as its primary adversary, while its relationship with Russia has grown stronger in recent years, with Kim Jong-un repeatedly expressing support for Moscow. Despite maintaining close ties with both North Korea and Russia, analysts say Beijing is carefully watching the deepening partnership between Kim and Putin. China and North Korea share a border stretching approximately 1,400 kilometers and are linked by a mutual defense treaty. China only such agreement with another country. The pact commits both nations to support each other in the event of an attack. This year also marks the 65th anniversary of the defense treaty, making Xi's visit especially significant as both countries seek to reaffirm their long-standing relationship. Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel responded on Thursday, June 4 to new U.S. sanctions, saying they are intended to reinforce the blockade and deepen tensions between Havana and Washington. The United States on Thursday imposed sanctions on Diaz-Canel, along with several associated individuals and entities, according to the U.S. Treasury Department website. The measures also targeted 4 additional individuals and 5 entities, including Diaz-Canel's wife Liz Cuesta Peraza, 2 members of the Castro family, and Cuba's Ministry of the Revolutionary Armed Forces. Diaz-Canel, 66, has served as Cuba's president since 2018 when he succeeded Raul Castro, the brother of former leader Fidel Castro. The latest sanctions mark another step in Washington's effort to increase pressure on Cuba's communist leadership. Last month, the U.S. also sanctions 11 Cuban officials, including the communications minister, several military leaders, and the country's main intelligence agency. In addition, U.S. authorities have filed charges against Raul Castro over his alleged role in a 1996 incident involving the downing of aircraft operated by Cuban exiles. In a post on X, Diaz-Canel condemned the measures, saying they reflect political blindness and are part of a broader coercive actions aimed at harming the Cuban people. He added that what he called U.S. aggression would be met with Cuba's determination to withstand external pressure and resist what he described as an imperial campaign. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Thursday, June 4, 2026, sent an open letter to Russian President Vladimir Putin. In this red letter, Zelensky proposed a direct face-to-face meeting and expressed readiness for a full ceasefire. The letter marks one of the few moments in which Zelensky has directly addressed Putin since Russia's invasion in 2022. So far, negotiations between Russia and Ukraine have been stalled for months. The breakdown of US-led peace talks has also been influenced by the ongoing Iran conflict. Earlier negotiation rounds held in Istanbul, Abu Dhabi, and Geneva failed to produce a breakthrough, particularly on key territorial issues in a post-war settlement. In the letter published on the Ukrainian presidency official website, Zelensky emphasized his desire for direct dialogue to end the conflict. Alongside the meeting proposal, Zelensky stated readiness to temporarily halt hostilities to facilitate negotiations. As an initial step, he also proposed a full prisoner of war exchange. He believes this could serve as a starting point to end the war. As a publication, there has been no direct response from Putin. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said during a call with Bolivian President Rodrigo Paz on Thursday, June 4th, that the Trump administration is increasing emergency aid and support to address ongoing food and medical shortages. Amid weeks of unrest and large-scale protests in Bolivia, according to the State Department. State Department spokesperson Tommy Picot said in a statement that Rubio reaffirmed Washington's commitment to Bolivia. Stressing that the U.S. will continue to support efforts towards stability, security, and improved conditions for the population. Separately, U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth said in a post on Truth Social that the Department of War and the America's counter-cartel coalition oppose any effort to overthrow the legitimate government of President Rodrigo Paz Pereira in Bolivia. Hegseth also warned that the United States is closely monitoring the situation, adding that Bolivia should avoid falling back into what he described as narco-terrorist dominance in the region. Bolivian President Rodrigo Paz announced on Wednesday, June 3rd, that his government has submitted a bill to the Legislative Assembly aimed at regulating states of exception in the country. Describing the move as a humanitarian action intended to respond to a worsening crisis driven by weeks of social unrest. A state of exception refers to a legal measure in which normal constitution rules are temporarily suspended, so a government can respond to an emergency. Paz made the announcement during the swearing-in ceremony of new Defense Minister Ernesto Justiniano. Who pledged to remove roadblocks that have disrupted and paralyzed major cities across Bolivia. The president urged lawmakers to fast-track the bill, saying swift approval is necessary to address the ongoing situation. The proposed legislation will establish a legal framework for coordinated police and military operations to reopen blocked roads. And restore access to essential supplies such as food, medicine, and fuel in the most affected urban areas. The unrest began with a worker strike in May, which later escalated into widespread highway blockades that cut off access to key cities including La Paz and El Alto, home to nearly 2 million people. Protesters, among them labor unions and groups aligned with the former leftist President Evo Morales, are demanding that the past administration reverse austerity measures and take action. That's all for today, viewers. Thank you so much for making OneNews International a part of your day. I'm Katarina Amelia. Thank you for watching and staying informed with us. We'll be back tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. with more stories from around the world, only on the tvOnenews YouTube channel. Bye!